girl. Yes, yes. What are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, belly rub. We missed the belly rub. Belly rub. Yes, yes, yes. You silly.
It's that time of year if you're a wasp or indeed a hornet like this one, because everything's getting colder, your colony's breaking down, and it's really just you for yourself. And that's a shame, because there's nothing they can do about it. They only get the summer, and of course then it's time to die and the frost will finish them off. So too cold to fly at the moment. The colony structure's not working, the queens stopped laying eggs and they're just foraging for themselves rather than the endless forage to feed their children, their grubs back at the nest. The caterpillar version of the wasp, of course, you know, the grub is what a caterpillar is to a butterfly. Hornets, very, very friendly. You wouldn't want to mess with their nest, but they seem intelligent, like a praying mantis. You know, they'll look you in the eye and they interact with each other. I've picked up an awful lot of hornets in my time. Not telling you to, but I've never been stung or bothered by them. But then I've never poked around in a hornet's nest either. So I'm going to put him in the sunshine, or rather her, because it'll be a girl. And hopefully she'll warm up enough to go and forage some rotten blackberries or some more rotten pears in our orchard. Come on, darling. Now I'm stuck. Get in there. I don't know if this is focusing, I've run out of hands. There we are, she's in the sun. Bit of safety. Heat those muscles up and on the wing she'll go. What a beautiful animal a hornet is, they really are. Pleasure to see. When I was a kid, very few in Northamptonshire, very rare indeed. Not so now. Plenty here at Holdenby in the Icarus Falconry. Hi you guys, welcome back to the channel. Another vlog, another week gone by. Last week I recommended one of those audio books that I've been listening to. Absolutely fantastic. Honestly, get it if you can, if you've got any passing interest in invertebrates. And that's the theme for the week. My school visits recently have been mini beasts. It's that time of year when the house spiders and the daddy longlegs are out and so on and so forth. So everyone's kind of noticing mini beasts that many people, through their ignorance, are very scared of. And bizarrely, mini beasts, invertebrates, creepy crawlers have really been crossing my path lately. So as a kid, I used to lift up rocks all around my house and find devil's coach horse beetles, as well as their larvae, and violet ground beetles. Look at this beauty. I was doing a photo shoot with birds of prey in Leicestershire, and this little beauty came running across the path. I hardly ever see them. I reckon I see a couple of violet ground beetles a year now. They were omnipresent. Now, obviously, I lifted up a lot more little pebbles of rocks as a kid, probably, but these things are on decline. Like most invertebrates, they're collapsing in the world. Think of all the spray we put on our crops and then kind of expect it not to affect the little tiny bit of set-aside or meadow around the edge where there's a home for invertebrates. We're devastating these things on a worldwide scale. And in my lifetime, around 50 years, a massive reduction just in that short spell of time. But for sure, beautiful thing. And then have a look at this. I'll cut so you can see it and I'll tell you a bit about it. What a great little mini beast that so many people see, haven't got a clue what it is. Enjoy. So if you've ever wondered what this is, I get so many requests of people in late summer. Oh, Dave, what's this? Is it a baby snake? This is just a caterpillar of the beautiful elephant hawk moth. Beautiful pink moth. Just a caterpillar. Feeds on bog bean in your pond. Loves fuchsias in your garden. Won't do any harm. And they've just finished feeding and they're looking for the right bit of soil to dig down in and pupate in. The elephant hawk moth caterpillar. I'll put some better pictures of it up right now. And this big old toad in the garden would have been very happy to find that caterpillar and ram it down its throat. A big juicy meal indeed for many a larger animal. So I've just fed all the natrix. Massive bowl of fish today. They've eaten most of it already. There's a little one, look, the littlest one in there. He's got old fishy. Oh, and it's growing. So they've learned, oh, there's still some more there. They've learned to smell the fish. They come out and eat out the bowl. Pretty clear, much clearing out. That little one's having a good scoff. He just needs to make sure a bigger one doesn't come and get hold of that fish. Living spaghetti. Look at that. So I vary it. Today it's like smelt, little fish like lance fish. I put them in whole. Other days it's chopped up salmon and trout with chick legs and rat pups and pinky mice, and the fish is chopped up fine and big, so there's something for everyone. But not today. So 3 or 4 times a year I've got a job where I collaborate with a famous wildlife photographer, and he runs days to help people learn wildlife photography. And all I have to do really is take 4 birds of prey to a fantastic setting where I kind of just sit next to them. They're tethered to the glove or whatever. They're not flying. It's a very easy job from my point of view. Look at Zeus here. Absolutely magnificent. And of course, the shots they're getting are nothing like the shots that you see here from behind the scenes, if you like. Look how Zeus sits on that rock, and yet his talons are not touching the rock hardly at all. Just like in the wild, his foot pads are sitting on the rock. Those talons aren't for perching. They're not gripping and blunting themselves against the hard rock at all. Quite amazing how they sort of work, really. And look how magnificent he is. What a lovely setting. A little part of Leicestershire, and yet it looks like Scotland with bilberries and heather everywhere and rocky outcrops. Really good setting for these birds. Certainly for a golden eagle. And from where the photographers are, it all looks magnificent. Rambo the little owl, look at that for camouflage.
You can't do that every time.
Yeah, it just throws that weird thing. Wow. That's right. I wouldn't wait all the time, just if he looks at you. Oh, it looks like he's going to come back in, do you know what I mean? Look at our makeup. Wow. Easy peasy today. Wow, look at that. You can outlift the buzzards this time, can't you? Look. Oh, look at that. You do that every day, it was a weekend for show now, haven't we? It's amazing, isn't it? How like, easy it is. And you've got to use those big hand signals. He's got some good altitude today. Wow. Wow. As if working with an American bald eagle isn't enough to keep you occupied, along with the rest of your jobs at work, Emily's also sort of retraining the new kid on the block, her female Jersaker. She's several years old. I've told you many times before, we don't tend to take on second-hand birds of prey at the Falconry Centre. They have a specific job role which can be quite inclusive of many distractions, and one of which, of course, is working with the public. So we tend to train our birds ourselves. Almost every single time you do give in and you take on a second-hand pre-trained bird to help someone out, they're never up to scratch. The ones we've got, they do a job, but they're not really what they would be if we bought them from scratch to train specifically for a purpose. Sadly, Jersakers, I could probably have had about 8 this year taken from people that just want to get rid of them. They're a bird that seems to get very popular. For whatever reason, you know, people need to get rid of them, and we don't want that many. We took this one in. Emily's going to fly it to a lure. It already flies to a lure. So when she's resting her aplomado, maybe for the winter months, this bigger bird can take up the reins. We know it does that job. I trust the bloke who she came from impeccably. She's a working falcon, but we'll see how she goes. Emily, this bird's just come from the Moulton Aviary. She's just retraining that bird, but have a look, pretty nice. Meanwhile, despite a day of incessant rain, here's Joe putting Lily the barn owl through her paces. Our birds really have to fly in all conditions. On a similar vein, Kyle's been training his pure Graham Forbes bred pure Falcon. What a privilege that is to train and fly one of these guys. Can be quite sensitive in the early stages to aspergillosis, a deadly fungal disease of the lungs and the brain, but so far so good. So lots of manning. The bird's just starting to jump to the glove for a little reward. It's very, very steady now, and the boys have also been off to Vowley races to watch other people fly their falcons in the races there.
She's wild as fucking. As soon as you go up the block, she's like that, and she'll bait. You have to scoop them up and you put them on your fist, and then they'll sit on your fist, but they'll bait. And the wings are so big that every wing beat hits in the top of the head. And I just think, I'm not getting paid enough for this. And then you'll get another bird doing it. Everyone's like, what?
Just like we're ready, so we're just waiting for the technology. Okay, on the horn. And there it is. Focusing on the bodies off the chutes. Climbing, climbing, climbing. That's the name of the game. So heading out over towards the tree line, climbing into that breeze. And important is some fantastic climbing yesterday. Obviously, it's slightly better weather conditions, but nonetheless.
So all of this mess has got to go. It's a big clean out day of the week. I have one big clean out day of the week in here. Double check everything, go through everything really thoroughly. All these enclosures here are because half of this year's baby snakes have now gone. I've had to package those up. They've gone to a really well-known shop up north, and the guy's come down and he's collected loads of blue beauties and false water cobras and a few other things. They all need cleaning out, put it into dry storage for next season, which is great because, yeah, when you've got dozens and dozens and dozens of little hatchlings, it takes up an awful lot of time to look after them, so a little bit less work now. What else can I tell you? Oh, on the sort of bigger snake front, the mangrove snake's looking great, peeking out one evening, and the young super dwarf reticulated python, the male, he's doubled or tripled in size already, and look at that, what a stunning snake. Who needs colour morphs when you can see snakes that look this beautiful?